this stupid thing in.
All right, Cornelius, we're gonna.
Is this ball food? Food. But is this food? But is this
I
food?
feel like that could be the name of the podcast. Just, but is this food?
That's actually a show in Japan.
Is it? But is this?
Is this candy? And people like go into a room, right? Like just like what we're in right now, right? And they'll pick up like an item, right? Like this NXT belt buckle here, right?
Which is candy.
And then you'll just see them go like this. They'll go. Oh.
Back.
And if they choose not food, they're out.
Hello. Stupid. Fucking. Fuck.
The fuck you say?
Fuckery. What is this?
Fuckery. Oh, cat butt. Hello again.
Now, let's see how long it makes it. Before we just see that.
Well, we can just push it back a little.
Yeah, that's not the thing. It's this doesn't like hold it.
What?
I can hear it just creaking, and eventually it's just gonna.
Well, why don't we just use it as a prop then and just put it right here?
Yep.
It's not going to interfere with the camera.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Blair Witch Project, starring Jesse Long and Rick Sussman. This is good, Jesse. All right, so now we got
It actually worked.
Now all right, so move that bowl. Yeah, just put it on the flow. Cornelius will investigate.
Get it on the floor.
Cornelius shall investigate. Are you doing the Attack on Titan theme there?
Get it on the floor by like DMX, I think.
That was Attack on Titan, though.
Maybe it's.
Hang on, wait. This requires further investigation.
We're gonna have to do the under pressure /
Attack on Titan.
or under pressure /
Oh, there it is. You're the best. Planetarium.
Christ. I think that's the chat. Here, let's use this selfie stick. Yeah. Just like stick it in there.
Here you go. Hang on.
That is very close to what I was doing. Now look up Get It on the Floor by DMX.
Get it on the floor. All right. Get it on the floor by DMX.
Yeah. Sorry, Chad.
Wake
Oh,
up
fuck,
this
this
one.
is like.
How are you? Oh my God, the shaky cam. That sounds nothing like the
That's what I was trying to whistle, though.
You are the worst.
That thing won't stay on there anymore. I don't know. It won't. It just won't hold.
Oh, turn down the volume all the way to nothing.
Turn down for what, Rick?
It's like watching Raw, says Jungalo Jester.
That's Chad.
Juggalo Jester is Chad?
Yeah, he's.
Chad, I didn't know you were a juggalo. Let's go chicken hunting sometime.
Drink some.
I need what I need is
Drink some
4
Faygo.
words to show up underneath my words. Hi everybody. Oh wait a minute. Here we go. Hey everybody. Welcome to a very special, seductive episode.
Very sexy episode.
Of Russell. Oh wait, no. Of the POWA Hour. I am your sexual deviant host, the Sussman, Rick Sussman. Joining me as always. Oh!
This one works better.
Great shot of my crotch there. There you are.
That's what you've always wanted. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Rarely has a show started so poorly.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gold star for how absolutely abject awful this is right now. The bullshit radius.
Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
Oh, Jesse Long. This is Jesse Long.
There we go.
So I guess we're just gonna stand up over here now.
Yeah, it's the new read pile.
There we go. Hey everybody, I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman, and joining me as always is the American Dad Ass and Crooked Neck Man, Jesse Long.
I'm the bent neck Jesse.
Bent Neck Jesse.
Spoilers. If I can just
Oh my god, Jesse.
If I can just get this to sit still.
This is the problem with rounded edges.
Yeah.
Hey Jesse, why didn't we just use my phone 20 minutes ago?
Because I got it.
Okay. Well, that was worth the effort.
I gotta get a new mount.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not touching that, so just get closer.
Okay.
Oh, he touched it.
It's good.
All right, we're good?
Yep.
Let me pull up the rundown.
Now that it's 9:45.
Thanks for tuning in. Okay. Proper intros are required at this point. Hi, everybody. I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman, and joining me, as always, is the American Dad Ass, Jesse Long. You are watching Team Hammerfist Presents the Hammerfist POWA OWA.
On the Wrestling Nerds Radio Network.
On the Wrestling Nerds Radio Network, bringing you such fun
But this
content
is on YouTube.
as
If you're watching it. If you're listening. Who are we not sponsored by this week, Rick?
All right, Jesse Long. This week we are not. Wait a minute, hang on. Keep the sexier version. This week we are not sponsored by Dunkin', who wants to remind you that they are not Dunkin' Donuts anymore. They are just Dunkin' now.
Well, you know, Rick, America runs on Dunkin', but the country isn't running, so it's up to us.
They're like 68% still going.
Are we?
It's only a partial government shutdown that's ruining everything.
Yeah, just food stamps and IRS. The things that matter.
Could be worse, bro. Could be a guy who's in charge of controlling planes going overhead. Air traffic controllers. They're not getting paid zip. Guy posted his thing on Reddit. Said $0.00, which is like the greatest kind of fuck you ever. Like if your job is like, hey man, we can't pay you this week, but here's a paycheck to keep for your records that says, hey, you're fucked. Like,
yeah. I can tilt this.
What do you do? Stop touching it. Stop it. Stop touching everything. All right. It's enough politics for now. We have other politics to talk. We have other politics to talk about, specifically the politics of wrestling.
Yes.
And most specifically, we got ourselves a new wrestling company, Jesse.
We do. AEW is a thing.
AEW.
So,
can we shut down the angry Cheeto portion of the government? Unfortunately, not.
Yeah.
The angry Cheeto portion of the government remains available.
I'm sure he's getting paid. Well, by his, the special interests and all of his.
It's not really a special interest. It's literally a direct pipeline.
Well, yeah.
There's a thing called the emulsion clause that people should look up. But anyway, AEW is a new wrestling promotion called All Elite Wrestling. It'll, I guess, be out of Jacksonville.
Well, yeah, the company is based out of Jacksonville because that's where the Khan family is.
Yes, much in the same way that the WWE is based out of Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that
they're only ever going to be in Jacksonville.
Right. But you got to believe that Florida, being the hotbed of wrestling talent that it is, they're definitely going to be running shows here. Plus, the Jaguar Stadium is obviously readily available.
Yeah. The second show, their first show is going to be Double or Nothing, which is going to be in Vegas in May. And then they didn't announce when the second show is. People are speculating it's going to be in July. And that will be in Jacksonville. They didn't say that it's going to be in the Jag Stadium, which would be, I think, a little bold of them to presume they could do the Jag Stadium that early. But I'm sure they will find. They'll run it out of. Jacksonville has an arena.
Yeah,
and they'll run it out. Yeah, I have too. I don't know if I've been to the new one. I went to the old one.
I was just there for the NJPW show.
Oh no, that was in Daytona. The big.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Yes.
was in Daytona.
Yes.
Anyway.
Sorry. Once I get past like Sanford.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's all Jacksonville. Even where your wife's from, Jacksonville.
I was from Orlando.
That she was from like.
No, her
Deltona.
parents live in Mount Dora.
Mount Dora.
Again, once you get past Sanford,
Jacksonville.
All right.
Anyway, or Nick and Matt Jacksonville now. They had shirts that said that. It wasn't my terrible joke. It was there
You
too.
repeated it though.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so the second show is going to be in Jacksonville. Proceeds go to gun violence.
Go to creating gun violence.
No, victim of
Oh,
gun
okay.
violence.
Proceeds going to proceeds going to AIDS.
Yeah.
Proceeds going to cancer.
Yeah, so proceeds going to support cancer.
Who doesn't like cancer? Everybody, let's support cancer together.
So, but that's good. I mean, I'm glad it's I'm glad that it's real.
Wait, stop.
Yeah.
So, I still have a couple of insider connections, not necessarily with just the WWE, but as anyone who knows me long enough knows that I probably have insider connections to things like,
Are you got that Yakuza connection in,
I got
in New Japan?
I got the Yakuza in New Japan by way of Simon Grimm. Specifically, he's always trying to get me to play Yakuza 6 because apparently that game's great. There's
That's your the Yakuza owning New Japan. It's a good little roundabout.
You're not letting me finish.
No,
Either.
okay.
I know about what's happening in Miami now. So Miami has a wrestling company. If you're not aware, formerly out of Orlando.
Yeah. Well, they're still here, aren't they? Or did they move?
Does it fucking matter?
Doesn't matter.
I mean, when Low Key has been the reigning champion for a long time.
Every second that progresses in his title reign, it is that amount of time too long.
What do you say? The guy who owns the book put himself as the champ? Yeah. Man, I'll have to ask Dusty Rhodes when I see him next time if that's ever happened before. Anyway, so I've got a lot of interconnections and a lot of people who are interested in things like that.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing the most of is people are very concerned about AEW surviving.
Okay.
To wit, I have to say, who gives a shit?
I think they're going to be just fine. I mean, the Khan family certainly isn't hurting for money.
Right. So
And in their press releases, they were like, just so you know, this isn't going to affect any of our other ventures financially. We'll be just fine. Everything's going to be just fine.
But is paying Joey Janela like $200,000, $300,000, $400,000?
Well, no, not everybody's getting paid the exact same.
I know. But is paying Joey Janela, six figures really a good investment?
No, but I like the notion that, I mean, at least they're going to try it, and it might, kill them to invest in actually, like, giving their wrestlers, like, a living wage and actually paying them well. Because I
disagree. What's really killing pro wrestling in general is not the wages per se, and not the changes in wages, though you're right about both. It's actually the fact that wrestling is still an independent contractor industry where you can literally treat people like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
There is no wrestling union. Wrestlers do not get weekends off. They do not have any kind of backup plan if they're inabruptly terminated or, if they're
very
if they're
seldom
injured.
does that happen, like Britt Baker, who is a dentist as well. Like very seldom.
So is Isaac Yankem.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, he's a mayor now.
Dentist, mayor, demon from hell. Trifecta.
One would argue
even better.
Yeah, you gotta add the Jew in there. He's a dentist. That's a hellish thing.
Yeah.
He's a mayor. That's a hellish.
I mean, you would know.
Yeah, and as a Jew.
Yeah.
All right. So
you've got the math. You really, other than the dentistry, you really got all of it. You got it.
I'm a mayor as well. I am Jewish. I found out
And you have
recently
a
that
cane
Simon
mask.
Miller is Jewish.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I loved his interview with Gotch.
I loved how uncomfortable Gotch made him.
That was great.
Paying Janela $350 is too much.
Yeah.
Much less, yeah.
Well, yeah, not like Joey Janela isn't gonna get paid as much as Matt Jackson.
Sure, but he's gonna get paid more than
well,
probably most of the WWE locker room.
I'm sure.
Which makes no sense at all.
I'm sure guys like Pac and Joey Janela and
But Pac deserves
say
the
Effie
money.
got signed. I imagine they would all get paid in like
If Effie, as much as we adore Effie, and we do, and I think given a proper
Hashtag all Effie wrestling.
given a proper run, I think he's a moneymaker. We all know this.
We know he is, yeah.
I don't really want him to be making right now AJ Styles money.
Well,
There has to be levels.
Yeah.
Or flip the script, there has to be no levels.
yeah.
If everyone goes into wrestling like, hi, you're a first year signee, this is our first year structure, so you get paid a max cap
Yeah.
of $5 million. You look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, you look at all these other major sports industries, and they set limits. So one guy, Brock Lesnar, isn't making $10 million a show, and another
Well,
guy...
he is.
But this is why you don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want Brock Lesnar making $10 million and, like, Mandy Rose making $35,000.
Yeah.
I don't think she's making $35,000, but my point is that
Maybe.
the pay gap shouldn't be
Yeah.
that astronomical. If you say that our top tier talent, the guys that we're putting on the main event, are all Effie Wrestling, we need to make that a thing. It's gonna be. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be.
If we pay our top tier talent X to Y, then you know what you're going to be making, and then more
Yeah.
importantly, you know what it means to be a top tier guy.
Yeah.
Wrestling has been a carny sport since literally the 1800s.
Of course, yeah.
If all elite wrestling really wants to change the way we look at wrestling, it's not paying women the exact same amount that they pay men. That's great, by the way.
Yeah.
It's paying.
You're not saying that women shouldn't get paid the same amount of men.
No.
Let
me
clearing the air.
Let
there.
me finish the thought.
Yeah.
It's not paying women the same you pay men. It's paying everyone similarly. It's making tiered structure. I don't.
Yeah.
You're not coming to my job, right?
Yeah.
You're not.
If
gonna
I got a job at your job,
If you got a job at my job, you know what everybody in their first year is going to make.
I'm not gonna make
You're
as much as you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're walking in. This is what we're paying you. If you get a raise, here's what the raise looks like.
Yeah.
Now in sports, the guys who are the biggest draws, you know, you're I'm trying to think of modern baseball players. Screw that. Trying to
What's baseball?
Yeah. So your LeBron Jameses.
Hashtag just stay closed.
Your LeBron Jameses, your Carson Wentzes, your Nick Foles in some cases. Why am I naming Eagles? But your
Name Vikings, Rick.
Kirk Cousins, terrible. Dalvin Cook, very good. But depending
Do any
on
of them play for the Apollos?
not yet, but they will.
I have a little anecdote about that I want to mention at some point.
But you need to have structure. It's great that AEW is paying women the same amount that they're paying men. That's fantastic. But if they really want to change what pro wrestling is, you need to start with, okay, what is the problem with pro wrestling? Well, nobody has health insurance.
Yeah,
Literally
that is
nobody.
the other thing.
Nobody
is
has
that
health insurance.
They are going to cover health, which is something I think is important.
I agree.
That's important in wrestling.
Health
Above all
insurance-
else, healthcare.
Healthcare and health insurance would have kept Eddie Guerrero alive and would have kept Chris Benoit from murdering his family.
Exactly.
Sorry. All right,
Yeah,
so let's do the thought. Here is the thought game.
Yeah.
You ready? Give me five. Give me five guys you
Yes.
want signed to AEW today.
Today, I mean, I am going to exclude the obvious, like, Effie. Like, I can literally just go like Effie, Jamie Senegal, Simon Gotch, Leon Scott, and like Saeed Al Sabah. But that's a little too obvious.
I can make an argument for Saeed. Imagine the long con that Saeed has been playing. If he kind of knew that this was coming,
Yeah, if
and
he
he's
just,
been
like,
waiting.
He
for
had
all-
his ear to the ground.
Yeah, well, remember he was in ROH and he told them to piss off. He was in MLW and he told
he was
them,
in the WWN network,
and he told all them, "Nah, I'm good, fam." What if?
oh man,
What if?
oh
Saeed
man, if
actually-
Saeed Al Sabah.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
Saeed Al Sabah is absolutely he's
got
a
the-
goddamn magician.
yes, and he's got the look, and he's got the talent. He
Yeah.
can talk.
Yeah.
and he works the same
Yeah.
style that if you saw. Let's see. Tag teams count as one or two. We'll work on that.
Okay, so Saeed Al Sabah, the Kinsey scale.
The Kinsey scale, yes.
I love the Kinsey scale.
That's a great gimmick.
Okay, so Saeed Al Sabah is an obvious one.
Yes.
I would honestly sign Effie. He is money. Effie is honestly money. He knows how to market himself.
He could be
knows
a good. He could be a good opening act. He could
Yeah.
come out and rile up the crowd. He could
Yeah.
be face and heel.
Well, that's the thing with Effie is that you start him in the opening act, and then he organically gets himself over.
Yeah, and
where
then-
you would need to put him in the main event because he's the most popular fucking person in the company.
Sure, I can see that.
I'm trying to think of
Well, here.
I mean, I would sign Pentagon.
Sure,
100%.
the Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros.
Yeah, I would
but
get
I
the
think
Lucha
they're under
Brothers.
contract with Lucha Underground. Because Joey Ryan recently
Well-
tweeted out the reason why he hadn't signed with AEW is he's under contract with Lucha Underground.
True, and Lucha Underground sort of has like a thing with TNA or Impact. Excuse me. Sorry, they're not TNA anymore. But
So my signatures start with this, and I'm about to. God, I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Okay, so
Izzy,
no, the mechanics.
100%, 100% the Revival.
Yeah, they have to.
Well, I mean, they would be the Mechanics now because they would be the Revival.
So the Revival needs to get signed. Then I sit around for a little bit and I wait for Finn Balor and I wait for Prince Devitt to come back and paint himself in Spawn colors.
Yeah.
So I'm taking I'm rating the Revival. I'm rating Finn. I would like to see Anderson, but I don't Anderson and Gallows, but I don't believe those two would leave the WWE.
I feel like I don't know if they would.
Carl Anderson may.
Yeah,
but I don't see.
I think if Anderson goes, Gallows. I don't think
maybe, but I think those guys are really happy making shit tons of money, and
I'm sure they are happy getting paid fat to make goofy videos for the network.
Yeah. And then the next guy on the list is for me is Saeed. I think Saeed is the future. I think he's young. I think he's flashy, and I think he can reach across the boards. As much as I adore Effie and Jamie Senegal, I don't want them in AEW just yet because I want to see what AEW actually offers.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a promotion based entirely on work rate? In which, if it is, I love my boys, but they ain't running no 6-star matches. Effie is,
we love Effie. He is much more Stone Cold Steve Austin than he is Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah,
and he'll admit that. He doesn't try to act like he's not flippy kicky technical
he's not
boy.
a flippy kicky technical guy, but he's a guy who will get you out of your seat. He will make you talk.
100%, yeah.
And he will make you pick a side. And I adore him for that because wrestling used to just be charisma based. I mean, you look back at Gorgeous George, whose biggest move was this. But no, even you could even look at modern guys. You know, the race Flair, where Flair wins his first world title. He did it with all of one really shitty suplex.
Yeah,
and a backdoor execution, which if you don't know is when you break somebody's neck.
Oh, okay.
Like really, yeah. Anyway,
I just say what you watch in the confines of your bathroom is up to you.
It's the friendly confines. Okay,
you're gonna get sued by that bar.
Yeah, well, they can come after me. Let's talk about, and I'm going to limit this to
like a minute or two.
Yep, at 22:35. Hulk Hogan. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hulk Hogan's a fucking piece of shit, and he really needs to not ever come back. The end.
Okay.
No, my issue, my problem with Hulk Hogan, and it's more a problem with fans than it is Hulk Hogan. I've seen too many times. I'm a member of a few different Facebook groups that I'm not very active in. Not like on a professional wrestling nerds group, but I see ding buy this shirt. I see so many fans that they're like, man, why can't people just get over this and just like, oh, let's let Hogan back, and it's just like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, like basically like get over it. Like, no, I'm not. Don't get over it. Has he apologized publicly?
No.
Will he?
He was on a local radio broadcast here in Orlando. I think it was on Mike Bianchi's show. And he was like, well, you know, brother, it was just really good to have all those guys in the back. Forgive me for...
No, they didn't.
The white guys did.
The white...
Look, we live in a society where racism is still a very real thing. And if you don't think it is, you're white.
Yeah. Or
you think you're white. This is a problem that we're seeing a lot now. Now that we know that most people, MAGA, are racist, you're seeing a lot of people who are not in the club deciding to be part of the club. Not realizing that, you know, they're not going to let you onto the golf course unless you're holding the clubs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there who are willing. Oh, but it's a Hogan, and like The Rock just released a statement about I don't like how everything offends everybody.
That was 100% bullshit. He came out and he said that
really
was 100% bullshit.
Oh, okay.
He posted a video and a post. He's like, it's laughable that I'm having to do this. 100%
okay,
bullshit.
Good.
Yeah, because I was like, when I read that, I was like, fuck, I love The Rock.
Yeah.
No, that was 100% bullshit. So that whole snowflake generation comments, that was bullshit.
Well, but use it. Let me use it.
Yeah.
It's not The Rock, but it's people who want people to believe that that's what The Rock said.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are like, can't we just go back to when men were men? You ever watch Married with Children?
Yes, that's a perfect example.
Well, in Married with Children, though, a show that takes place in the 80s, the early 80s to begin with.
Yeah.
They are reminiscing fondly about a time when men would act like men.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
That's the crux of the Al Bundy character.
Yeah. There's actually a couple of episodes very early on that are very anti-homosexual, but that was the time in the 80s.
Well, yeah. It's not good.
No.
And there's no excusing it.
No, because that was what the time was.
Oh, yeah.
But there was never this mythical manly man mentality.
No.
Like in the 50s, we get to see shows like Mad Men, which are a little bit closer to it, where men basically just ate steak and drank scotch and died at the tender age of 39. And people were like, oh, well, he was a real man's man. He knew what he was doing. He laid down the law.
Yeah.
He didn't fucking know anything about anything. He just had a dick.
Yeah.
And that's what you're seeing, this desire to return to, this longing of, well, can't we just get over Hogan? Why are you guys just being a bunch of snowflakey little bitches? Man, fuck you. I'm allowed to be offended by shit.
Yeah.
You can eat my asshole. The whole of my ass.
Yeah.
Like, if you're doing something that I'm not happy with, I get to tell you, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, you don't have to watch my programming, and I get to say, valid point.
Yeah.
But I don't get to not be offended because it offends you.
Yeah.
Again, whole of my ass.
Yeah.
So,
Hogan and with the Hogan thing, it's the fans. It's seeing fans that can't separate the horrible shit from his accomplishment. Yes.
But watch now. Watch this.
Okay.
Because those same fans.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Haven't done this in a while. Because those same fans, Jesse Long, who were so adamant about we need to forgive and forget.
Tell him, Rick.
We need to get in there and tell Hulky Hogan, baby brother, I love you. Those same fans, Jesse Long.
Creeping into Dusty territory.
Those same fans, Jesse Long, were telling me that Priscilla Kelly done killed the wrestling business dead, baby. Let's talk about Tunagate.
Tunagate.
Because
as Zach Romero called it, the Red String Diaries.
Why is he better at everything?
He is the better version.
Son of a bitch. He's so much better at everything than I am.
He is the successful version of us. He is like the station, like when we're the little stations. He's the big station.
He's like he is so close to being Adam ruins everything better than me. Just thinking about that. At any rate, let's talk about Priscilla Kelly ruining the wrestling business.
The business
completely.
It had already been it thankfully had been reanimated after Effie chokeslammed a child. But
that's right. I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot. We had our hands in killing the business.
Yeah, we killed the business too. So
if you're not aware,
with Priscilla Kelly,
if you're not aware, and God knows how you're not aware,
if you're listening to this, how the fuck have you not heard about this?
Right. But if you're not aware, there was a bar wrestling event.
There's another one of those bar events. We have them. We have one here, but they're kind of everywhere. It's sort of like
it's wrestling
traveling act.
Yeah, it's wrestling without a ring, which I adore.
Yeah,
because it's all about the ridiculousness of fight clubs.
Yeah, it's literally just hardcore wrestling in a bar with no ring. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not morbidly curious and wanting. I kind of have this. I kind of want to go to a No Peace Underground show.
The fact that Matt Cross has one of these things.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and if he had the money,
Effie was on a No Peace Underground show, and he showed his ass.
Here's the thing: I bet you, if you just broached the topic to him, what's his name? The shining star in Japan. I can't think of his name.
Kota
Ibushi. Yeah, I bet you, if you went to Kota, you're like, Kota, baby, you got to come to America for one of these shows that happens in a bar. And he looks at you and goes, is there a ring? No!
Oh, Kota Ibushi would totally do it.
But I could do...
That motherfucker will land on his neck for a ham sandwich.
I've seen him do entire events in a forest. Imagine Kota Ibushi versus Matt Cross in a bar.
Oh.
Without a ring.
Oh. He used to do shit on Kaiju Big Battle and like random bullshit skits for Kaiju Big Battle. I don't think Kota Ibushi's is too proud to fight in a bar.
I think the exact opposite. I think Kota Ibushi would look at that as an opportunity to show what the art form can ascend to, and that is what we saw.
So
that is what we saw.
We're officially starting a GoFundMe page to have Kota Ibushi wrestle one of our babies in a bar in Orlando.
I bet you it wouldn't take much, but what we saw from Priscilla Kelly was simply the evolution of the gross out spot.
Yeah.
Now, some very good friends of ours, including the Carnies, specifically Trip Cassidy, has a long-running spot. Also,
Carry Awful, I think he does it too.
Aaron Epic has a similar spot where they'll pin their opponents down to the point that they can't stop, and then he will take out his mouthpiece, Trip Cassidy, and put it in his opponent's mouth. It's a gross out spot.
Yeah.
Aaron Epic will do a what you call it, a wet willy.
Yeah. In PWG, like stick a thumb up the ass.
There's
Joey Ryan, in addition to the dick grab, he'll take out a lollipop from his dick.
That's his finisher.
Yeah.
Put it in your mouth and super kick
him.
you.
Yeah.
That's his actual finish.
Yeah.
And then but that thumb in the ass thing, that when they do the giant train that's led by why can't I think of
Jushin Liger was
Jushin Liger. I can't think of anyone's name today. I must be dying. But they do this giant train of 12 guys.
That's
maybe 12 guys. Everybody thumb in the butt. That's one of the most highly watched videos in the history of the internet.
Yeah.
So Priscilla Kelly has her opponent prone
who
in a
I believe
chair.
it was just simply named Tuna.
Good for her. Has her opponent strewn in a chair, and she reaches into her pants and sort of jimmies around, and we're like, what did she go for? Because reaching into your pants, by the way, is a pro wrestling staple.
Oh, yeah.
Mick
Foley made a career off of whipping a sock out of his dick.
There's a sock in there. There's nunchucks, or not nunchucks, I'm sorry, brass knuckles are in there.
Yeah.
There's powder. There's a roll of dimes. There's a miner's glove.
Puppet.
There's a snake puppet. Yes, you can pull anything from out of the groin region in pro wrestling.
It's a magical area.
It is. It's like Bender's box.
I was gonna say it's like Hermione's bag. There's
interesting use of terms. But there is plausibly it is a Schrodinger's box. So
speaking of boxes,
so Priscilla Kelly pulls out her tampon.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, ah!
Yeah. And then everybody in the crowd is like,
oh my fucking god! Yeah. And then she proceeds to shove it in her opponent.
Well, she did shove it in her mouth, but yeah.
And then she called, you're like, you like the tuna? Well, here's the tuna. And I thought, what a brilliant gross out spot.
That was wonderful.
What a wonderfully disgusting...
Objectively, I loved it.
Oh, it's a brilliant gross out. Like,
that's
so
great.
gross.
If that happened at a Punk Pro show, we would have literally done backflips.
Oh, just weren't screaming back and forth. But it's just this really great gross out spot. And also, by the way, it was a 21 and up show, so it wouldn't have been at Punk Pro.
Yeah.
This was not a family.
It's not like Izzy's in the crowd.
No, well, even if she was, she would have chokeslammed somebody.
Yeah.
So it's a 21 and up show. Where nudity is apparently common.
Well, yeah, anything. It's just it's for adults,
right? And the amount of backlash,
like the Sausage Castle show that Rick thinks Rick might be going to.
Got a lot of really good guys,
and it's free.
It's totally free.
Joey Ryan,
I know.
Simon Gotch,
I know.
Bull James,
I know. Have you seen Simon without his mustache?
I have. It's scary.
He looks so different.
He looks like a different person.
He
put it back.
He's such a monstrously handsome individual.
Yeah.
It's really disgusting.
Yeah.
I told him to stop being so attractive. But the amount of backlash that Priscilla... So this is the internet. Yeah. I explained this on Those Two Jerks. I explained this to my buddy Charles just randomly.
Oh, I know Those Two Jerks ran its course, but I would have loved to watch you and Tom just break down Tunagate.
So what did I always say on all these podcasts is that this is how the internet does something. Initially, there's a positive reaction because it's the internet, and be like, oh, that's innovative. Then someone will go, won't anyone think of the children? And then there's this giant negative reaction, and then the reaction to the reaction becomes negative.
Yeah.
Like, why are you reacting this way? And then ultimately it comes all the way full circle, and you start seeing people responding positively again to the initial spot. So what we saw...
And then it finally lands back at, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. Or shockingly, wrestling is not dead.
Yeah.
Or the next day happens. For instance, when Effie broke the internet, and then by Tuesday it had cooled to nothing.
Yeah.
Effie breaks the internet Saturday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday, when a show about that happens, Ghost Town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ghost Town. This is the problem with pro wrestling. And we're going to mash this into the next story as well. You've got fans who are willing to accept Hulk Hogan instantly as soon as they see him again because they're probably a little racist or they don't see what he did is wrong.
Yeah. But everything he did for the business. Right?
But everything. Then will immediately lambaste Priscilla Kelly for coming up with a really just genius spot, honestly.
Yeah.
And then ultimately will go out of their way to try and find the leaked nudes of Toni Storm.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next story. Toni Storm had her phone hacked and her private messages and private images released onto the internet, not unlike what happened to Paige, not unlike what happened to Charlotte.
Not to the extreme that happened to Paige. Thankfully for Tony's sake.
Well,
but yes, I mean it's happened. Paige, Charlotte, Ruby Riott, Zelina, basically anybody you can think of in the WWE. I think this has happened to recently.
Which is interesting, except
and then every female celebrity you can think of in the past 5 years.
It doesn't seem to happen to men that much. I wonder why. Well, the incel community has a very strong stranglehold on these things. So it is important to a lot of these men to make women feel less superior to them, or in their minds make them feel more superior to women.
Yeah.
And that's what you see happening, is what happened with Toni Storm is what happens with a lot of these professional wrestlers, is some guy gets slighted or feels slighted because she's doing better, and then he goes after her technology.
Yeah.
And because our phones are set up in a way that they are, that you can get them hacked at pretty much any time, which is
We're
why...
probably being hacked right now.
Why it's really great that the president of the free world uses an unsecure fucking iPhone.
But the emails, Rick.
Yeah, the emails. So... I don't know. I don't know what more to say about this.
No,
the story is in 3 parts.
It's one of those, like, it's just that this is what... And then, Toni has deleted all of her social media.
Yeah.
And there was some speculation she might be done with wrestling in general. That remains to be seen if, if she shows up tonight at TakeOver Blackpool. If she doesn't, so, all good, if she chooses, like... If this was her moment where she leaves wrestling,
I don't think
can't
that's a
blame
good thing
her
at all. That's not fair.
I'm not saying it's good.
No, that's not a positive. She should tell those guys. No, she should absolutely keep wrestling.
Well, I'm just saying, if she decided that was her moment, like, all right, guys, I'm done. Then you can't blame her for it. But,
okay, fine.
But I think I don't think she's done wrestling. She was at the UK PC thing, so she's not done. But yeah, it's just one of those, like, this is why we can't have nice things.
I don't think this. I don't agree that this is not why we can't have that. That's not what this is. What this is just a further attack of 50% of the population of this country. Think about what happened this week. Just this week. Yeah. We have literally Priscilla Kelly being told that she murdered the wrestling business on a spot that men have literally been doing since the dawn of time. Sorry, but yeah, Mr. Sacco used to reside in Mick Foley's, Grundle.
Taint, yeah.
And it was referred to as Grundle. Such. So you also have Toni Storm being the latest woman to be hacked and have all of her private images released. And then you have Hulk Hogan, who is a racist shithead, but because, brother.
Yeah, but because Hulkamania was a big thing. Yeah, and Hulkamania did keep the wrestling business alive. With this podcast, probably wouldn't exist were it not for Hulkamania. That's a fact. That does not change the fact that Hulk Hogan is a fucking piece of shit.
Doesn't change the fact that
Chris Benoit had really great matches.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the fact that he murdered his fucking family.
Mercedes.
That's another thing. That's another thing.
Mercedes was created by Nazis.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I thought it was VW.
Both.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Let's move on to non-wrestling topics.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of over wrestling for right now.
Yes.
Evidently, you've been watching lots of things that I haven't been.
Well, you were way ahead of me on some stuff, so I feel like you were, like, with movies, you were way ahead of me, and then I had to, like, catch up a little bit.
So you have
We
seen...
don't have to talk about
Yeah,
those two.
you've
We can
seen
move on ahead.
Spider-Verse. You've seen
Well,
Spider-Verse.
I figured we could save those two things to the end, and I can just gush about how great they are.
All right, sounds good.
We can jump ahead to something that.
I've been watching The Orville. I haven't watched the most recent
Have you not?
episode.
Okay, have you been watching like this current season?
Yeah, I've watched episode
Okay.
1 of the most.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a minute, and the Orville is such just a wonderful goddamn show, and I love it for just it. You watch it, and within 3 seconds of the show, you're just like, you feel like you're just watching Next Generation again, and like in the best ways, like even like little things, little like formatting things that are just 100% just lifted right from Next Generation, like the way the show starts, like segment happens, problem occurs, little musical interlude, the intro start.
It's written by a lot of Next Gen writers.
It is, yeah. You watch the credits. There's a lot of like Brandon Braga and a bunch of other.
And
it has some cast members too. Like
there's also the super incredibly strong security officer with a twist.
Yeah.
There's the android person with a twist.
Yeah.
There's the crazy alien species that has a weird sexual encounter.
I love Bortus.
Bortus is the best.
Bortus is amazing.
Bortus is amazing. Bortus's egg episode was great, which led to one of the greatest episodes of television ever.
No,
the birth of his son daughter.
Yeah,
which was an incredible.
That was like episode like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it was episode 3.
That was the thing that I love about this show, because I was fully ready. Like when I saw this coming, I was like, okay, cool. It's a parody of Star Trek done by Seth MacFarlane. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm over Seth MacFarlane's animation. Like I'm not gonna sit down and watch Family Guy. It's
tough.
I have
American Dad is still amazing, but that's on a completely different channel.
I have outgrown Family Guy. Like I don't want to. I'm not interested in watching that stuff. And like some of his movies, I don't really give a shit about. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I'm not expecting much because I've grown past Seth MacFarlane. And like the first episode is kind of funny. They get you in with like some of the yucks, but by episode 2, they're just like, no, we're a serious fucking show. And there's little jokes. There's jokes. There's funny bits like the pilot, the redheaded pilot,
well,
whatever.
Here's the thing about the show I don't like. There's entirely too many references. It's too referential.
Okay.
It's way too referential to the 20th century.
That I don't like.
It's way too referential to itself. But I guess my core issue is that, and in episode 1 of season 2, we kind of start moving away from this.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of the captain of the ship being the one guy I can't count on.
I can understand that.
Like if he's,
I mean, it's a fun change of pace from like Next Generation Voyager.
No.
Where they're like this insoluble rock.
Yes. I understand what you're saying there, and I totally agree with your point.
Yeah.
The problem is that he's the captain.
Yeah.
He's not an ensign.
No.
He's not a science
Him being
officer.
a very Seth MacFarlane-esque character.
Yeah. At some point, and like I said, I haven't seen the second.
I mean, I love Ed. Ed's great, but him being sort of like a alcoholic failure is.
He's still the captain of the fucking ship.
Yeah, it kind of weighs on you sometimes, but
so if he wasn't the captain of the ship, or if the captain of the ship had he's got some character flaws, I'm all for it. But
if he was the commander, and then there was like this insoluble rock captain, but the show was still kind of about like him,
right?
And he was the commander, he was the
he was the
number one,
if he was Riker and not Picard, But even his Riker,
that might make it a little bit more fun. But I agree, I do agree with that.
But here's the thing: this is why it's okay.
Yeah,
it gives Ed a character arc.
Yeah, and eventually he'll turn around.
He should become,
you would assume eventually.
Exactly. So he can keep some of those, really shy. But all the way through season 1, he never really grows.
No.
And into season 2, he's getting more into the tank, quite literally.
Yeah.
But at the end of the first episode of season 2, and again, that's as far as I've gotten. I haven't watched any more episodes.
I am caught up.
2 or 3.
There's I think 4 episodes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of episode 1, you can sort of see him start to turn.
Yeah. He definitely has some really bright spots, especially the most recent one. It focuses on Alara, the security officer.
Oh, Worf.
Worf, yeah.
Female Worf.
Girl Worf.
Tiny girl Worf.
Tiny girl Worf. I'm loving the show. It fills this sort of. It's interesting because the Orville and Discovery came out about the same time,
right?
And disregarding the fact that Discovery costs $8 a month.
Yeah, you can't watch this. I thought it was 7. But whatever. But still,
7,
fuck
9,
you.
7
fuck you.
of 9-ish.
No.
But I'm even if I wouldn't, I guess at this point I could drop $8 and I could plow through Discovery.
Yeah, but why do you want to do that, though?
I don't want to watch Discovery.
Yeah, I don't want to pay $8.
Well, even then, like, I look at those two shows, and yes, there's a Star Trek-shaped hole in my heart because they haven't had a Star Trek show since Enterprise, and I didn't watch that because it was awful.
Well, the first 3 seasons were just terrible.
Yeah.
And then the 4th season, they were like, fuck it, we'll just write every episode as fan service.
Yeah, and I watched.
And it was great.
I watched the last episode of Enterprise because it was all fan service.
And you know why? Seth MacFarlane's in it.
So there you go. But like, I look at these two shows, and I have like the combat shaped hole, and like I put the Orville there. Like I put the Orville there every time.
I agree.
It fits that sort of. You watch like an episode of Next Generation on like BBC America, and then you pivot over to Orville, and it just feels like more. It just feels like more good content from.
It feels like they could run across Picard's ship at any time.
Yeah. If that ended up happening, like 2 seasons down the line, they made a thing where it's just like the two things just like it turns out the Federation and the Union are like rival organizations.
Or they could just cross over into different dimensions.
Oh yeah, they could just cross a different dimension. That would be great.
But we know that Patrick Stewart and Seth MacFarlane are great friends.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Patrick Stewart has been.
I mean, he's on. He was on American Dad.
He's not just on American Dad. He's one of the main characters.
Yeah.
He's been on Family Guy 100 times.
Of course,
he's been on Cleveland Show. Patrick Stewart's been everywhere.
Oh, Cleveland, poor.
So let's talk real briefly.
I wanted to gab about the Orville.
Let's gab real quick about one last thing that was kind of in the news, and then kind of in the news, and then kind of in the news. The Watchmen TV show had its teaser trailer.
Well, it was HBO put out like here's little teasers for everything, like for the Liars thing, whatever, I forget what it's called, and like Game of Thrones, and like just little clips, like boop, boop, boop. The one I showed you was literally just like a little thing like little thing stuck in the middle of the thing,
and it was for Watchmen.
Finally, like getting first like actual footage, little bits of it. I'm excited for it.
I'm not. Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Nope, don't care.
You don't care about Jeremy Irons' old man Ozymandias?
Don't give a fuck. I read Watchmen in the 90s.
Maybe it's because I didn't like.
And then I reread it in the early 2000s.
Yeah. And then we saw the movie.
Well, and then everyone was like, oh, I got to get into comic books. I'm like, read Watchmen.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, this was amazing. Yeah, not everything's like this. So, and then the movie came out. I'm like, that's pretty fucking good. That was about as good as I expected.
It's about as good as it's gonna get.
That's about as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
And I own the 6-hour version of it packed away. This reminds me. Hang on.
With Tales of the Black Freighter and
spliced in.
I remember watching the Black Freighter before I watched the movie. Threw me off.
This is for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So hang on. So this, just so the world sees this. This is the Toy Story box set Blu-ray special edition.
Thank you.
Which comes with a 10-disc collection. So all 3 movies plus bonuses, etc., etc.
Open it.
And it hasn't opened in a while, but it opens like that. So look at that. Isn't that cool? Now, this was the complete Toy Story collection, one of my favorite stories of all time, which is why I paid $100 for it when it came out.
And now it's mine.
Now they're making a 4th one, so that box is fucking useless.
You take out the special features disc, and then you put Toy Story 4.
No, fuck that. No, they're gonna have to make it. They're gonna make a new box.
And you write a 4. You take this piece off,
and
then you put a 4.
No, absolutely not.
But we gotta find out what happens to Bo Peep.
Absolutely not. And there's more over there if you want it. But that one I wanted to give you on camera. For all the cool stuff you do. I don't care about Watchmen.
Yeah.
But
you have a thing in the notes.
But future president of the United States of America.
I think I'm just gonna pound some NyQuil and wake up in 2024.
2020. So that's what? Is that 8 years? That's enough time.
Oh no, I've already done the math. Not the next election, obviously, because she's only like
she's 29.
29. But in the next election, she'll be old enough to run, and
then
that'll be a glorious.
Maybe not 2024, but definitely.
Well,
2028.
I mean,
definitely 2028.
Yeah, if a Democrat wins in 2020, then one would assume she's not going to run. She's not going to run against them.
Well, if her party has anything to say about it, maybe she will. Alexandria, just AOC. AOC.
Just AOC.
I figured you had a Cuban wife. You could say her name properly.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
See, I can't do that. I will butcher it. AOC, however.
Which are from South Florida.
Okay, fair point. If I had it in front of me, I could probably read it.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, AOC is getting a lot of pub because
Well, for starters, she's wonderful.
for starters, she's amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite story, by the way, of this entire week about AOC.
I've been so like just like gushing over AFC so much that my wife just like, you have a crush on her, and I'm
Yes.
I mean, I was like, no.
No, the answer is yes.
I mean,
we all
yes,
should.
you should. You
we all
absolutely
should.
Yeah.
Every one of us should. So
She doesn't watch
aside
this. I can say it. Yeah.
aside from her being incredibly intelligent,
Yeah.
she went to Boston University, same university my mom went to.
Oh, cool.
You have to have smarts to graduate. Is important. Aside from doing that, she struggles
I
just
went
like
to Full Sail.
yeah, she struggles just like we all do. She was a bartender and a barista, all this other shit.
Yeah.
The things that she says,
She couldn't afford dual residencies
Nope.
like she's supposed to until like she started getting paid in the job she
anyway,
has now.
she won by unseating a 10-time Democrat in Joe Crowley, who was expected to be the number 3 when the Democrats took power. So it was going to be Nancy Pelosi. I forget who number 2 is, honestly, because I didn't bother looking it up. And then it was going to be Joe Crowley.
Chuck Schumer?
No, Chuck Schumer's in the Senate.
Oh, okay. I know.
This is in the House.
Okay.
So Joe Crowley was going to be the number 3.
Okay.
So now, but she beat him. She didn't just beat him by, and by the way, she just beat him by knocking on doors. She didn't have a lot of money to campaign.
No.
She didn't just beat him. She crushed
Yeah.
him. Now, this has caused a lot of issue in the Liberal Party because what AOC is saying is very much in the vein of Bernie Sanders and Andrew Gillum and a lot of these
Yeah.
young Democrats
Yeah.
who are saying
Very socialist.
very, very UK socialist.
Yeah.
Like, that works over there. Why can't it work
Yeah.
here where we have 10 times the amount of money? And people are like, because, Hogan.
Okay.
So
But Mean Gene died.
But Mean Gene. So what happened this week was they leaked nude photos of AOC.
Yeah.
Side note, they weren't actually her.
And they weren't even nude.
Whatever.
They weren't even nude.
I didn't buy-
the photo is it's a picture like okay, imagine you're in the tub.
Okay.
You imagine you're laying down in the tub and you take and like your feet are up on the edge and you take a picture of your foot. And it's literally from like just above the knee to the foot. That is the amount of skin you see. They're like it's a nude photo. It's thigh to foot and it's not even her.
And
Thanks, foot fetishists.
Remember, this only matters because it's a member of the non-ruling class that's
Yeah.
doing this. Because the president married a woman who was known for nude photos, and
But that's art, Rick.
But and everyone says, but that's art. So whatever.
Did you hear how it was debunked? Who like really properly
No.
debunked it? Foot fetishists.
Good for
They were
them.
the ones that were like, no. We know what her feet look like. That's not her feet.
Thanks, boys. Good job. So that came out. That was quashed. A video of her looking absolutely gorgeous and dancing came
Yeah.
out, and everyone listen.
That's
Jesse,
been the bigger one.
Listen, look at me. Look at me. No, let me get the other eye. There we go.
Fuck you.
Look at me. If I become a member, God damn it, if I become a member of the House of Representatives or a senator or anything, any elected thing, and there's video of me looking young, hot, and awesome.
Well,
you
we're
release-
fine then.
You release that.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
do that for me.
Yeah. This.
Oh no! Don't release the video of me
well,
looking
you're a
gorgeous.
man. You're a man, so it doesn't matter. You can
Fair point.
there can literally be footage of you raping somebody, and you'll get elected. You'll just get.
I mean,
just
I could
higher
get-
up the ladder.
I'll just
Higher
go to
up
the
the
Supreme
ladder.
Court, I guess.
Yeah. Higher up that ladder.
So, how does this relate to Watchmen? Well,
Yeah.
at this
Because
point,
there's so many ways that Watchmen relates to this current life.
at this point, AOC basically has had enough, and she's like, "Oh, this is hilarious." And Joe Lieberman said that, "Oh, AOC is the future of the Democratic Party, so don't vote for them." And her response was, "New party, who dis?"
Yeah.
But she comes out and she's like, she says, to quote Alan Moore, "You guys don't understand. I'm not locked in here with you. You are all locked in here with me." And to which fanboys everywhere, pants down, just take your belt, wrap it around your head, run up and down the street. I mean, you want to talk about an EC dub chant?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
AOC.
that was the political Twitter equivalent of Effie chokeslamming Izzy and us just going.
Nerds across the board. I'm part of a nerd group on Facebook that has Many members across the spectrum. Some guys I interact with, some I don't. Everyone across the board was like, that's fucking badass. Like, no. I don't like her politics, but that shit. That was good. That was good. And me, on the other hand, I'm just sitting there going... Not to her, but to the idea of her quoting the comic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's how terrible of a person I am. Do you think she's attractive? I don't care what she looks like. She quoted a comic. Fuck you. And she did it properly. Yeah. And she gave Alan Moore credit. She knows who Alan Moore is, the wizard of comics. All right. So
I mean, he probably complained about his work being adapted, but
he absolutely complained about it because it's Alan Moore, and this is what. Hold on, Jesse. Pretend this is $10,000.
Okay.
Or no, $10 million, and I'm Alan Moore.
Okay.
So you've bastardized my work.
Got any more? Can I have more?
Can I have another one? I love Alan Moore, but he's a fucking hypocrite.
Yeah.
But you know what? He wants to get paid for his hard work, and that's great. But he also wants to tell everybody to go fuck themselves. And hey, if I had that kind of money, we used to refer to
literally, he's literally like bitching at people while doing backstrokes in his Scrooge McDuck ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's I think the
problem, you people.
Well, it's fuck you money, isn't it? It's fuck you. It's fuck you. I got mine.
Yeah.
So. To AOC, we say keep the party rolling. I hope she does well. I really love her platform. If you're listening and you're interested, her tax plan is not 70% of your income. No, it's 70% of every dollar made after your first 10 million. Okay?
Yeah. So, even though, it was 91 at one point.
Yeah, well, 70%.
And the country was doing great then.
70% of every dollar you make after your first 10 million. Yeah. Are you making $10 million?
Almost.
Yeah, real close.
Almost.
Real close. It's gonna
I'm right there.
Next year, this will get me.
I'm tippy-toeing.
This will get me next year.
Yeah.
So I've been a proponent of the following statement. I've said this a lot. If you made $100 billion last year, I have bad news. You didn't make $100 billion because the government is here to collect $10 billion.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid you only made $90 billion last year.
You only made a lot more money than God.
Right. And I've been saying that this needs to be the way that we do business in this country for a long time. We've got guys in this country, 3 dudes are worth more than the planet.
Yeah.
So it's like, we those guys who are worth more.
And the guy who's running the country is trying to be one.
Well, fine. But we've got 3 guys who live in the United States of America that are worth more than the planet combined. And those dudes, for every billion that they make, should lose $1 billion. Because here's the thing. It's not going to matter. Yeah. It's not going to matter. And I'm not saying it should go to me or Jesse. I'm saying it should go to our schools. It should go to our roads. It should go... Yeah. Am I a socialist? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But it's only for the people who
not
already...
Not to a fucking wall, either.
You know what? Wall. If we're going to charge billionaires what they're actually supposed to be paying, you get a wall.
We never said how high it has
I don't care. You can make it 100 fucking stories. I don't care. You know what?
Well, it actually doesn't matter because it turns out you can just saw right through it.
More to the point, if the country had that kind of money rolling into our infrastructure, the wall would stand and we'd have it working properly and the door would open and people would come in and out as they please. And if that's the wall that we wanted, then fine. If the people who are worth the billions and billions are paying their fair share, we could literally do anything. Flint would have water.
Oh, Jesus, that's still a thing. It never stopped being a thing.
And that rolls us right into what's pissing us off.
Yeah.
And what's pissing me off this week is the idea...
I'm not putting sound effects in, so I'm going to have to do them on my own.
That's fine. That's how we do business around here. Is the idea that you could fix everything with a sentence. You can't.
Okay. There we go. We're live. All right, say again. Sentence.
I'm so tired of people in my industry, in my friends base, in my world, assuming that arguments can be won and lost in one sentence.
Okay.
And that things can be fixed in the most easiest common way, simply put. So I have a store that I'm working with at my job, and they're like, oh, hey, we want Facebook to do this.
Okay.
And what they're asking for, if you hear it out, is actually fairly reasonable.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be able to decide what X and what Y is. That's a good point. The problem is that it's not my company, it's Facebook.
Yeah.
So when I explain them that, unfortunately, that's a limitation of the technology, the response across the board is like, well, you got to fix that. Okay, that's a great statement to make.
Yeah,
but
just fix it.
Yeah, well, you should fix that. Okay. So again, like and again with AOC, well, she can't run for president. Well, she's too young. There are laws.
Well, yeah, literally right now she can't.
But trying to destroy her with a singular sentence, or fix the problem, or Frenchman's wave her entire tax plan away.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand the limitations of what your knowledge is, it's not going to work. It's going to piss me off. Jesse, what's pissing you off?
What's pissing me off this week is heckle bitch. I work at a job where we, provide goods and service for currency.
Oh, a job, you say?
Yeah. I believe they call that retail. And, directly interacting with customers. And it happens a lot. It happened this week. But it happens a lot. Somebody comes in. I'm going to just get kind of specific. I'm not going to be very vague. Okay. I'm not going to say her name. I could, but I'm not going to. Comes in and says, I have these shirts. I need you to print this on these shirts. I have this many shirts. How much does it cost to print this on this shirt? Okay, I have 200 shirts. How much is it to print this on 200 shirts? And we go, okay, it's $6 or $3.50 is what it was.
About $3.50.
About $3.50. And then they go, okay, here's 10. And then you go, okay, that'll be $8 a piece.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, you just said it was $3.50.
If you order the bulk, yes.
If you bring us 200 right now, it'll be $3.50. These 8 are 8, or these 10 are $8. Well, it's just a little thing, but those are the price. I don't understand. Well, those are the price.
That's the price.
Yeah.
That's just the business.
Yeah.
Do you watch the show Atlanta?
No, I should.
You should. It's amazing. I just got into it. I'm plowing through it because it's so good. There's a great scene where Earn, Donnie Glover. Is out at a he's spending money at a mall, and he's there with one of his more we'll say morally ambiguous friends.
Okay.
And one of his friends is telling him about, yeah, man, I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to look right. Like, he's got his hair done in waves. He's dressed in a nice, suit. He's got a job interview.
Yeah.
And they're at a shoe store. And Ern's looking over at his shoes like, yeah, those look pretty good. I think you can, wear that to a job interview. And the guy's like, how? And Ern says, are they on sale? How much do they cost? And the guy looks at her and goes, cost? They got a no chase policy in here, man. I'm just gonna steal these. and Ern's just like, and then this guy walks over, a retail guy. He says, hey man, can I help you with some of those boxes? And he looks right at the guy, dead in the eye, and looks right at Ern and says, they have a no chase policy. He can't do anything to stop me from stealing these shoes. All he can do is provide me with amazing customer service. And he looks right at the guy, right in the face, picks up the boxes, and just walks out of the door.
Jesus.
And what the story you're telling me in my history running retail stores.
Yeah. I'm sure when you were working in the comic book store, people constantly was like, why does it cost this much?
Yeah.
Like,
the price on the books is 15 cents. You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
Free comic
why
book
come? What? I see it says this much, but can you do less? No. Well, what? But like, why? Because that's the fucking price.
Free comic book day was always funny because we'd always have one super genius who would show up and be like, "I'm gonna get that first appearance of Spider-Man. It's free comic book day. That's the one I want." Like, you got it.
You said that you cracked the code.
You did it. You're the man. You figured it out.
Yeah. All you had to do was ask.
Oh, there it is.
Multi-$100 comic, just
thousands. It's yours.
Yeah.
Free comic book day. Man, nobody.
You know
else.
what? Here's the store. Here's the fucking keys. Just
let me give you the
jingle,
keys.
jingle. Here
we
you go.
open at 10. All right, goodbye.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, boss.
So yeah, I mean, it's
Phil
just
will be happy.
It's just one of those moments in time where you're just sitting there like watching that scene play out on Atlanta. I'm just like, that hurt my soul.
Yeah.
That hurt my soul.
Yeah, that hurt to hear. That hurt to hear.
Because I've been in that situation where it's like, ain't nothing you can do.
Yeah, like.
Well, Jesse,
I love haggling. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, haggling's great. Haggling's great.
What did you learn?
What did I learn this week? I learned this week specifically, because we're on to Saturday, that when you're house hunting,
okay,
the photos that you see of a house
I know this feeling.
The photos that you see of a house on the internet on Realtor.com are the bullshittiest bullshit in the history of bullshit.
I'm gonna be honest. You showed me that one house that you said that was just like a pile of like foreskins patched together.
Yes, if I could quote the line from Border Town, a fantastic show written by the writers of Family Guy and the artists of The Simpsons. Watch Border Town. It's one season. It's amazing. Oh, I didn't know this was a house. I thought this was a pile of foreskins comically arranged to look like a house.
The photo you sent me. Okay, so there's one picture where it's like a nighttime photo.
Yeah,
and like the house is like backlit, and then you look at the next photo, and it literally that just proves that the first photo was fucking photoshopped to high hell. Now, and I even showed my coworker. We were just like flicking back and forth. We were just like, that's real Photoshop.
That's some good Photoshop.
That's some good Photoshop. Not great. Not great.
Good IG filters, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take it from the right angles. So I learned that those photos. Now we went to one place. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get the spot. That was the spot way out in Apopka.
Yeah.
Where the photos were photo accurate.
Oh, okay.
Everything was exactly.
Yeah.
What
the house I have now, it was pretty photo accurate.
Yeah.
I went to one in Altamont, and the photos they took were accurate. They neglected to take some photos.
Yeah. Jesse, what did you learn?
We're
running out of show.
I learned that in the wonderful world of the internet, yeah, there's a lot of shit, but when push comes to shove, when a good person is being squashed, more often than not, in the end, a bunch of other good people will gather together to stamp out that piece of shit and try to get them as far away as possible.
They can.
The Tony Storm leaks.
Yeah.
People trying to discredit AOC because she danced because she was a person and because she was a 19-year-old in
Again,
college.
Seriously.
And so
if there's video of me looking that great, you release that.
There's the video of you like running to your car and then running back.
Okay, that was last year.
That was last year. You look great though.
Oh, thanks.
But just the people trying to discredit. Oh, look at her, she's dancing, and then it gets turned into the AOC dances meme.
Yeah.
So like seeing like idiots trying to take down a good person and then other good people raising it up even further. And with the Tony Storm one, it was some douchebag on Twitter was like, "Hey, anybody got those news? I don't see what the fucking big deal is."
Oh yeah.
And then somebody sent it to Defiant, and they were like, "Cool, you're never fucking allowed to come back. Don't fucking come back. Good luck telling your friend why they lost their ticket. You try to come again, your picture's on the door. Fuck yourself." Like, so I like to see, it's not, especially in wrestling. Really in wrestling, it's really great to see like the community band together to squash out shit. It's nice.
It's few and far between.
It's few and far between. It's really I like. Another thing I learned, Steve Spurrier's really getting tired of Tom asking questions. I've been watching these videos on the Apollo's Facebook page, and you watch them, and the tone that Steve Spurrier, every time Tom asks him a question about how the team's doing, the tone is like, "Well, Tom, I'm really tired of you fucking asking all these goddamn questions."
I like that even though the show's dead, you're continuing the feud.
No, I'm actually really straight shoot. I am so proud of Tom. Yeah. I'm really happy for him. That's not, but just like
wait. I agree.
Yeah.
There's just one thing. I pointed this out to my buddy at work, and we'll wrap on this. So Tom is getting interviews with legendary head ball coach Steve Spurrier. Endless amounts of
top shelf football
talent.
Yeah,
lots of them.
He's the fucking voice of the Apollo.
He's the voice of the Apollo.
Awesome.
It's super awesome. Have you checked his Instagram follower and Twitter followers?
No.
Haven't gone over 200 yet. Which isn't a knock on Tom.
No.
It's a knock on the internet.
But just so like every time I've been watching these, like, he's like, "Okay, how's the defensive end doing?" Like, you can just see he's like, "Yeah, well, we got some work to do." And they're like, "Okay, how about the offense? We got some work to do."
So,
and like the third time, you can just see in his eyes, he's like, "I really need you to stop asking me about my team because they're not doing great."
We'll see.
There's only a couple weeks left until the launch.
I will tell you this, that when it comes to reporters and really big time coaches, that's pretty much the standard.
Well, I'm sure.
Because you can't really say it's not like so tell me, I noticed that our offensive line appears to be made of Swiss cheese and our quarterback has snot dripping down his nose, and I believe our running back was making sandcastles in the end zone. How do you feel about that? And
I know that feeling too. I remember very specifically playing like coach pitch or something, and I didn't fucking care about sports. I got my glove just folded folded over, and I'm just drawing pictures in the sand.
And it's not like the head coach is going to look at that question and go, yeah, I mean, you're
You
right.
know, Tom, you're right.
Our offensive line is hot garbage. The running back got hit in the head earlier in the day, and we never got him treatment. And and our quarterback...
What's the concussion policy on at the AAF?
I don't know yet.
That's Tom. But so yeah, I love the tone and just the expression on Steve Spurrier's face every time Tom asks him a question.
Yeah.
It's great. Anyway, let's get our shit in, Rick.
All right. So if you are interested in following Jesse Long and I on the Twitterverse, and you should, because what else you got to do? You can follow...
Better than Facebook.
Still Nazis. You can follow me at The Reed Pile. You can follow Jesse Long at Team Hammerfist. You can also find Jesse Long at Jesse TH Fist because he needs...
THF.
Oh, yeah. Jesse THF.
Yeah.
You could...
I'm really so there's a at Jesse Long on Twitter, and it's a dead account that's had no tweets, and I'm just like, it's fucking mine. I want it.
That matters. I mean, I do have an at Rick Sussman account, but no one cares. It's true.
Yeah, I know.
There's also the Internet Title. You could follow it around on the Twitterverse.
At Internet Title.
And you can follow us or all of our friends.
You can see the Internet Title be defended at Total Punk Mayhem on Mills 3, January 27th. Drennan's defending against Beasley Brody, I think?
I believe so.
Beasley Brody.
But it's Drennan, and he's going to win because he's champion.
Yeah. Or he might lose and win it back.
At any rate, you can find us next week at the Central Florida Comic Con in beautiful Kissimmee, Florida.
You can find us way the fuck at the opposite end away from Austin St. John and Deanna Troy.
We're going to be there.
But
we'll be there.
Yeah. You go straight to Red Power Ranger, do a 180, and we're all the way at the other end.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
But this and more can be found all over the place at Wrestling Nerds Radio Network. So,
32176 jerks.
For the American Dadass Jesse Long, I am the Sussman Rick Sussman, also apparently for the Tom Alexander somehow.
We'll put him over. He ain't got a podcast right now.
Reminding you that it doesn't matter the place, it doesn't matter the time, it's always time for Team Hammerfist to present a show that has a really long title.
There we go. Yeah.